Fox News alert, the Epstein blast radius has reached Chappaqua as Bill Clinton testified under oath today about his relationship with the dead pedophile. The former president saying this: "I saw nothing and I did nothing wrong." If only Bubba had seen something on the Lolita Express.
Clinton had, and Secretary Clinton confirmed this yesterday, Jeffrey Epstein was in the White House 17 times while Bill Clinton was president. We know that Bill Clinton flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane at least 27 times. So those are questions that we're going to ask. Everything that most media outlets have reported with respect to pictures and correspondence between Epstein, Maxwell, and Bill Clinton, these are all questions that we're going to ask today.
Bill Clinton flew around the world on Epstein's private jet. He went to Africa, Asia, including trips to China and Russia with the sex offender. What was Bill Clinton doing in China and Russia with Jeffrey Epstein? We're not accusing Bill of a crime. He hasn't been accused of a crime. Back rubs are legal. Hot tubs, no law against hot tubs. And swimming with Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, you can't get locked up for that. Hillary might just throw another ashtray at your head. Bill said he thought everything seemed okay. If I had any inkling of what he was doing, I would have turned him in myself and led the call for justice for his crimes, not sweetheart deals. Hillary says Slick Willie was just doing charity because everybody does charity in a jacuzzi. When investigators started asking Hillary questions, it got testy.
You'll see how she responded as well, screaming.
What do you mean that Hillary Clinton was screaming?
She was unhinged, and I hope that President Clinton is less unhinged today than his wife was yesterday. You'll see it.
Hillary had an office in the West Wing. Epstein and Ghislaine went there 17 times. But Hillary doesn't recall if they ever met.
Yesterday, Ms. Clinton deferred a lot of questions to her husband today. There were at least a dozen times when she said, "You'll have to ask my husband that. I can't answer that." So we already had a big portfolio of questions for him, and that increased yesterday.
Hillary's not a sex trafficker, and there's no evidence she knew what Epstein was up to, although his lifestyle was an open secret, and Maxwell was kind of known as his recruiter. So Bill had a lot to answer for today, and he was under oath. And he was probably asked if he ever went to the island. An Epstein victim, Virginia Giuffre, told her lawyer in 2011 that she saw the former president there. Quote, "I remember asking Jeffrey what Bill Clinton's doing here," kind of thing. And he laughed it off and said, "Well, he owes me a favor. He never told me what favors they were. I never knew. I didn't know if he was serious. It was just a joke. He told me a long time ago that everyone owes him favors. They're all in each other's pockets." Now, we don't know if that's true or not. It's an allegation, and Virginia's dead. Bill denied he ever went there. And the former president said he cut ties to the guy after he took a plea in 2008. But in his Upper East Side townhouse, Epstein hung an enormous oil painting of Bill in a blue dress. You know, like the Lewinsky blue dress. Was Bill Clinton compromised? We don't know. But that's a powerful picture to hang of a former president that everybody sees when they walk in your house. And we do know Ghislaine was at Chelsea's wedding in 2010. Hillary says, well, she's just a plus one. Well, we were told the guest list was kind of tight.
The word is that if you don't know Chelsea personally, you're off the list. So she has to know everyone personally who is going to be invited, which of course eliminates a lot of people who only know Bill and Hillary.
So you can forget being invited as a plus one.
Exactly.
Not going to happen.
Maxwell, who's in prison for sex trafficking, even got an award from the Clintons.
Everybody in those circles knew that Maxwell and Epstein were attached to the hip. So how the hell does she end up there? And then they're supposed to distance themselves further. And they gave her an award in 2013 after Bill Clinton's body man and top aide tried to distance and said, "Hey, staff, Clinton Foundation, don't ever have Maxwell in again." And he reported right to Bill. So who overruled him? I think it's either the last name is probably a Clinton.
Not only did Bill and Epstein travel the world together, but Epstein's own attorneys said the sex offender was a co-founder of the Clinton Global Initiative. Epstein and Maxwell crawled their way pretty deep into the Clinton family. The Epstein files have become a complete embarrassment for the Democrats. It's boomeranged.
Concerned at all about President Bill Clinton being deposed and that sets precedent for you and your family?
I don't like seeing him deposed, but, you know, they certainly went after me a lot more than that. I don't like it. Look, I like him, and I don't like seeing him deposed.
Democrats are having second thoughts about releasing the files, especially now that Bill Clinton said, as far as he's concerned, Trump's clean.
Ranking Member Garcia asked President Clinton, quote, should President Trump be called to answer questions from this committee? And President Clinton said, that's for you to decide. And the president went on to say that the president, Trump, has never said anything to me to make me think he was involved, and he meant with Epstein.
There's no evidence that Trump or Bill Clinton ever committed a crime with Epstein. But Bill spent a lot of time with the sex offender and, like others, may have been the target of an intelligence operation. And that's what Congress is investigating.
I do believe, and I'm sure some people on this committee also believe, that Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence asset and running some form of a honeypot operation. I do believe that President Clinton, as well as the secretary, were potentially targets of that operation.
How was Epstein able to ingratiate himself with presidents, princes, billionaires, and the Ivy League? How did a middle-class kid from Brooklyn climb that high? Throw women and money around, suck millions out of people, and spend so much time mysteriously overseas, and spend so much time with the former president of Israel, the heads of modeling agencies, flying girls, a lot of them Russian, all over the world, greasing customs and getting sweetheart deals from our very own government officials. How is this all happening under the eye of the FBI? The guy's obviously a spy, or he's working for spies, maybe for Israel, maybe for us too, maybe a double agent. He's shaking guys down. He's doing introductions. He's fixing high-class problems. He's in the middle of everything. You should see these emails. Everything. This one guy knows everybody. Hundreds of millions of dollars disappears from people's bank accounts, and no one can figure out why. He's a blackmailer. He's got cameras in every house. He's getting tipped off before cops raid. The FBI's office in New York City got hacked 3 years ago, and the hackers stole information about the Epstein investigation. They took 500 terabytes, and the FBI wasn't able to get it all back. Some of it's still missing. That's not some kid in a basement. That's a foreign intelligence service. There's only a few countries capable of hacking the FBI. So what's next? The videos of the Clintons testifying will be released Monday. And the next people to testify? Darren Indyke and Richard Kahn, Jeffrey Epstein's longtime personal lawyer and accountant. They both became co-executors of his estate when he died in prison, and Epstein accusers have filed a class action lawsuit against them for allegedly facilitating his sex trafficking operation. These two have been described as the men managing his financial and legal affairs and creating a complex network of corporations and bank accounts, allegedly helping to hide the sex trafficking operation, transferring funds to victims and recruiters. A lawsuit accuses them of creating sham marriages to secure immigration papers for Epstein's foreign girls. These two men have denied these allegations, but in 2 weeks, they're set to testify under oath. Also, something that happened under oath today, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, who deposed both Clintons, said neither Bill or Hillary are confident Epstein killed himself. And she joins me now.
And welcome to Hannity this Friday night. Tonight, in just moments, we'll bring you the very latest from Chappaqua, New York, where former President Bill Clinton was deposed under oath over his connections to Jeffrey Epstein. We're going to tell you what he said, including a moment that Democrats did not see coming. President Bill Clinton, in his own words, exonerating President Trump. But we begin this Friday night with this Fox News alert. leave immediately while commercial flights are still available. That is the message from America's embassy in Israel. We are now on the precipice of major action against Iran. Now, keep in mind, 8 days ago, on February 19th, President Trump gave the mullahs in Iran probably 10 days to get serious about a nuclear deal. Unfortunately, it does not appear that the rogue regime is ready to comply. Take a look.
Well, they should make a deal, but they don't want to quite go far enough, and it's too bad. Look, we've been playing with them for 47 years, and that's a long time. They've been blowing the legs off our people, blowing the face off our people, the arms. They've been knocking out ships one by one. And every month there's something else, so you can't put up with it too long. We're not happy with the negotiation. They just don't want to. They don't want to say the key words. We're not going to have a nuclear weapon. They have to say we're not going to have a nuclear weapon, and they just can't quite get there. They want to enrich a little bit. You don't have to enrich when you have that much oil. So I'm not happy with the negotiation.
Now, take a look at your screen. Iran right now, take a look at that, is now surrounded in every direction by ultra-powerful U.S. military assets. If they won't heed President Trump's warning now, especially after 14 bunker buster bombs obliterated their nuclear program with Operation Midnight Hammer, I don't know. A deal's probably never going to happen anyway. Look, personally, I believe this. I don't believe these radical mullahs are capable of keeping their word to begin with. So, in the end, this is now, because of them, becoming inevitable as they cling to terror and cling for their pursuit of nuclear weapons. And let me be clear to isolationists out there, I have a message for you tonight. Yes, of course, there's always a risk in any military operation, but we've got to understand a simple, basic, fundamental truth of life, and that is, unfortunately, I wish it wasn't the case, evil does exist. The mullahs in Iran, they are evil. They are the #1 state sponsor of terror. They have killed untold thousands of people, including Americans. When people chant, "Death to America, death to Israel," history should have taught all of us to believe people when they make those threats. Now, the last century alone, between Mao, China, Stalin, Russia, Hitler, Germany, Mussolini, Italy, fascism, Tojo, Japan, Pol Pot, the killing fields, it is estimated in the last century that over 100 dead human souls. That is evil on a mass scale. It does happen. We can't let history repeat itself. The Trump doctrine is basic, understandable, simple, and it works. No boots on the ground, no forever wars. For example, he took out the ISIS caliphate, the convert or die cult that it was. It had to be stopped. He took out Soleimani, the terrorist that he was. He had to be stopped. He took out Baghdadi and associates. They had to be stopped. And the radical Islamic fascists in Iran cannot have nuclear weapons ever. Hence, he wiped out and obliterated the nuclear facilities. Now, one thing Obama and Biden did teach us, appeasement does not work. Is this dangerous? Yes. But what weapons will this radical regime have in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years? You willing to take that risk for the United States of America? They want a nuclear weapon to hit the continental USA. We can't take that risk. Now, on this night, as it seems that military action may be imminent, we send our prayers out to our military service men and women, our brave men and women. And they may very soon be in harm's way tonight. They are in our prayers. Also, keep in mind, this is the same regime that plotted and planned and schemed and tried to assassinate President Trump not once but twice. They're still threatening to put a bullet in his head, a regime that murdered American service members in Iraq, and a regime that has taken countless Americans hostage. And as President Trump put it bluntly, this can never happen. We should all be grateful for a president like President Trump that has moral clarity in moments like this. So now we wait and we look to the skies over Iran.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.